Howdy folks, and we are back with the third and what I'm thinking is last release from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game this month. Now, we had the new set, which was Phantom Rage. We had the new special edition thing, which was Maximum Gold. And now we are rounding off the month with a new structure deck. And this one is Yu-Gi-Oh! Structure Deck Spirit Charmers. Let's try to see if it'll focus. Come on. Show them. Show them! There we go. Spirit Charmers. Now, this is a highly anticipated release. I'll be honest, the reason why it's highly anticipated is because these four right here are cute girls. And that's it. That's why people are looking forward to it. The cards aren't competitive or anything like that. They're not necessarily great, but it's a fun deck. I haven't looked too into it, so you know, I'm gonna kind of look at this together. As you can see on the back here, I mean, you might be able to see if it wants to. There we go. You know, you got your card list here. I'll go through each of the cards. But the thing that people really want is there are 1 of 4 ultra rare variant art cards in this. So this is gonna be highly collectible. Even if you do go out and buy 3 of these decks like you are supposed to in order to make a complete deck with the cards that you're given, you're still not going to get all the art cards. So, you know, there's something. As you can see, we have we have a mat, and then the deck here, right here, and here's the art card. I guess it's a token. If you'll zoom in on that, that's I think that is the Earth Charmer and the Wind Charmer, Win and Area, on a token there. That's cute. I like it. Let's open this up. Where is? There's usually like a little opening. I cannot find it. Yeah, I'm feeling the wrong way. No. There we go. All right. Well, I figured it out. All right. Okay. I'll go through the deck and then I'll talk about how I feel about all the cards. Oh, you know, and I should show off this art, actually, before I show off much more of this. So yeah, it also comes with one of these little fold-out mats. Yeah, I guess they match whatever token you get. But these are just paper, so they're kind of useless. Nobody should be using these. And then they have little strategy things on the back that are, you know, whatever you want to do. And then I think there's some more stuff about the art. Each girl shows off her unique abilities in her own way, deepening the bond with her familiar. Together they will achieve greatness. I mean, it's cute art. It's really cute art, but, you know, I can't properly show it off because it's on a webcam. I don't know if any of this will get scanned or anything. If it does, maybe Solemn can put it up on screen for a moment. But so, yeah, the thing with the Charmers, is they have their cards, which are the regular Charmers, and then they have the familiar possessed versions, which are just easier to summon. Like this one, you can special summon it from your hand or deck by sending a Area the Water Charmer and a face-up water monster you control to the graveyard. And if it's special summoned by its own effect, attacks a defense position monster and inflicts piercing battle damage. Now, I'm pretty sure that is a standard with all of them. Okay, yeah, the rest of them are back here. So I'll skip ahead, I'll put them up front. Yeah, so the other familiar possesseds here, this one is the Earth Charmer, Asa. So she has pretty much the same effect, except it has to be an Earth monster, and the Earth Charmer girl, the original. And then we have Area, who's the water one. Same effect, piercing battle damage, and Hita, the fire charmer. People like her a lot, and Win. Here's Win. So yeah, I think you get an alternate art card because see, like I have the ultra rare Aria here. For focus, please. Yeah, there we go. here's the new art. So I think that's what it is. I think they give you different art based on just randomly. And then we also have Awakening of the Possessed, Nefarious or Archfiend, which is the Earth Charmer's little buddy, her familiar, but all f***ed up and evil. Oh, all messed up and evil. So yeah, you could special summon this card from your deck by sending a face-up spellcaster monster and one face-up level 4 level Earth monster you control to the graveyard. If it's special summoned by this effect, you can special summon a level 4 lower monster from your graveyard but negate its effects. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add a spiritual Earth art card or one possessed spell or trap from your deck to your hand. So yeah, this is all about like kind of recycling things. I'm guessing there's another, here's the fire one. Pretty similar, same summoning mechanic, but it's the fire one. This is a Greater Inari Fire, Awakening of the Possessed, and its effect, other than pretty much being the same one as the last one, if it's special summoned by its own effect, you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to the original attack of one monster you control, your choice. That'd be pretty good to get some easy damage out on there, but yeah, that's a Greater Inari Fire. Grand Spiritual Art Ichirin here. This is a new card, I'm pretty sure, for the Charmers. I'm gonna, but before the next video, I will get a better webcam, I promise. Let's see here. You can basically it's an extra negate on the field as long as you have a spellcaster monster with 1500 defense, and guess what? All of the Charmers have that, so that is useful. During your main phase, you can reveal a spellcaster from your hand, and then add one monster with the same attribute, but with 1500 attack and 200 defense. That's their familiar. So yeah, so you swap out the spellcaster for the familiar from your hand. So, you know, you wanna... This is just a cycle card, basically. You wanna swap things out for other things. We got Spirit Charmers here. Discard a card, take 2 cards from your deck with different names that are Charmer monsters, familiar, possessed monsters, or possessed spell or traps, and add one of them to your hand and set the other. So that's pretty good. That's a good search card. That's pretty powerful, and it's a quick play too, which means that you can set that during use it during your opponent's turn, or just whenever possible during your turn. We have a holographic Raigeki. Which, you know, Raigeki's a good card. It's just destroy all monsters your opponent controls. That's pretty basic, but it's good. It's still effective these days. And then Possessed Partnerships. I think this is another new Charmer card. Possessed Partnerships, if someone can get that right there. You can special summon a spellcaster with 1500 defense for your hand or deck, or hand or graveyard in attack or face down defense position. If you control 2 or more different attributes monsters, destroy a face-up card in the field. Banish this card from your graveyard, and then target a possessed continuous spell or trap in your graveyard, place it face-up on the field, and use 1 effect per turn and only once per turn. You want to use these sorts of cards to cycle out all these different cards and get more advantage. So here's the original Charmers. Here's Ausa. We have Area the Water Charmer. We have Hita the Fire Charmer. And Win the Wind Charmer. And they all have flip effects, which are a little slow. Nobody's going to be really using flip effects. Wind's effect is you can target a wind monster your opponent controls and take control of it. Hita is for fire, Area is water, and Ausa is earth. So they are just, you flip, and then you can take control of something that your opponent has. You know, there's no dark or light ones of these, I don't think. I mean, I know that they made dark and light Charmers, but I don't know if they have, like, versions of that. And that's unfortunate, because dark and light are the most popular, most used archetypes. The most used attributes, I should say. So that's sort of the weakness to the Charmers, is that they are a little situational, or extremely situational, I would say. And then we have the, like, grown-up versions of the of the familiars. We have Nefarious Archfiend, Eater of Nefariousness, which that's a funny name. Gigabyte, which those of you who know Yu-Gi-Oh lore probably also know Gigabyte as Gaga Gigo. So yeah, he's all over the place. Gigabyte, Gaga Gigo, he's everywhere. He's in a bunch of different card artworks and all that. Inari Fire, which is, you know, Hita's, and Ranryu, who's the wind one. They all have different effects, but I'm not going to bore you with that. So this also comes with a few fairy tale monsters. So some of these are extremely busted. We have Fairy Tale Sleeper, who can, when you flip, you can special summon a monster from your hand, which that's very good. But I think the reason why is because they all have 1800 attack, which means that they can be searched with a lot of the same cards that the Charmers are searched with. So Fairy Tale Rella and Fairy Tale Luna, those are all very good cards that you can use in the stack pretty easily. Witchcrafter Golem Aruru is in here. This is a very recent card. The Witchcrafters were an archetype that was from a couple of sets back, one of those like build your own deck sets. And I think Aruru is actually like newer than that. I think she was in something new, but yeah, that's just like spellcaster support. There's a couple of these that are just basically like spellcaster help cards, like Dark Doriado here. It's a spellcaster. It's a pendulum card, and you know it helps out Earth, Water, Fire, and Wind monsters. Well, what do you know? That's all of them. That's all the girls. Witch of the Black Forest. This is an absolutely classic card. It's good to summon. You can search when it's sent from the field to the graveyard. You can search a monster with 1500 or less defense. And guess what? That's like all of the Charmers and their familiars. Effect Veiler, classic card. Everyone needs Effect Veiler. I feel like I don't need to explain that card. You discard it, it stops an effect. Denko Sekka. This is a really good card. Basically, it can't be special summoned, and if you control no set spell or traps, neither player can set spell or traps or activate them while they're set. So that's pretty good. That's a good way to like block out like a trap-based deck or anything like that. Let's see here. We got Awakening of the Possessed here. Another possessed / charmer card. I don't know why they're possessed. I don't know, maybe Konami could tell us why they're possessed. That's a little messed up. Monsters you control gain 300 attack for each different attribute you control. Charmers and familiar possessed monsters you control cannot be destroyed by card effects. And then you can draw a card if a spellcaster with 1850 attack is normal special summon. Yeah, see? That's you just draw a card with that. That's very good. Secret Village of the Spellcasters. This is a pretty broken card. I have used this card to win a few times when I played Pendulum Magicians. It's basically if you have a spellcaster, your opponent can't activate spells. But if you control no spellcasters, you can't activate spells. So it's a good way to, like, if you're using spellcasters, you can lock your opponent out of using spells. That's very powerful. Spellbook of Knowledge, you can send to the graveyard a spellcaster, and then another spellbook from your card. Or spellbook from your hand that is not knowledge, and then draw 2 cards. That's cycling. That's getting things. I mean, you can get things into your graveyard that want to be in the graveyard. You know, there's some monsters that activate effects in the graveyard, and then just send another spellbook to the grave, and you get to draw 2. Terraforming. You can only use one of these in your deck because it's so powerful, but it just lets you search a field spell. That's all it does, and it's broken. Book of Eclipse. Change all face-up monsters in the field to face-down defense position. See, now you'll want to do that to your own flip monsters so they can activate their effects. During the end phase, change as many face-down defense position your opponent controls as possible to face-up defense. Then your opponent draws cards equal to the number of monsters changed face-up to this effect. I'd say maybe that's not great. That seems a little too strong for your opponent. You might not want to do that. Twin Twisters. This is just a 2-for-2 sort of thing. You are using this and then discarding a card to destroy up to 2 of your opponent's spell or traps. Ooh, now this is a really good reprint. Dark Ruler No More. This is one of the more powerful cards that came out recently from the 2019 Megatins that everyone really, really liked. It was this and Nibiru the Primal Being. Dark Ruler No More negates all face-up monsters your opponent controls effects until the end of the turn, but your opponent takes no damage, and neither player can activate monster effects in response to this. So it's really hard to negate. It just turns off your opponent's effects for a whole turn. That's really powerful. Unpossessed here. It's a trap card for the possessed. It's a lot of text. But, yeah, Charmers can't be destroyed by battle. Familiar possessed, if they attack an opponent's monster, it gains 800 attack. Monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect. Well, this is already face up. Special summon a spellcaster, 1500 defense from your deck. Its attribute's different from at least one of the destroyed monsters. You can only use that effect once per turn. Pretty easy stuff. So then we have the 4 Spiritual Earth Art cards. They are they let you tribute a monster for each of the attributes, and then special summon something from the same attribute from your graveyard. So we have Spiritual Earth Art Kuragane, Spiritual Water Art Aoi, Spiritual Fire Art Kurenai, and Spiritual Wind Art Miyabi. So yeah, you have each of the different types. Metaverse, which is a trap card that lets you activate a field spell straight from your deck if you want. That's also very strong. Dimensional Barrier. This is also a pretty strong card. You get to choose a Ritual, Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, or Pendulum, and for the rest of the turn, neither player has special summon monsters from that type, and negate the effects of all monsters of that type on the field. So, you know, you can't negate Link monsters because this card was made before Link monsters, but Synchro cards are being used a lot lately. You know, you'll have cards like Borreload Savage Dragon, Herald of the Arclight. This will make it so if you use this card and then declare Synchro monsters, they can't use Synchro monster effects. Solemn Warning. This is one of the Solemn cards. Solemn cards are very, very good. If a monster would be summoned, or when a spell or trap or monster effect would be activated, you pay 2,000 life points. Negate the summon or activation, and if you do, destroy it. So this is specifically to stop summons. This is to stop summons. You pay 2,000 life points and you stop summons. And the last things in here are some ads. You got a Duel Links ad, you got a Legacy of the Duelist ad, and an ad for Phantom Rage. And there's also, I guess, a beginner's guide to the structure deck online. You know, I don't think anyone really needs that. But yeah, so I definitely would have to look at these cards a bit more to really tell you how good they are. I guess real quick I could just give you a general rundown of how I feel, though. How do I feel about the Charmer structure deck? So, 2 things are missing from this structure deck, I feel, and they're pretty big things. The first thing is that they don't have any of the Charmer Link monsters in this deck. Now, I actually own them already. I'm not going to dig them up because it'd be better for Soul1 to just show them on the screen, but there's the Link monster, there's Hida the Fire Charmer Possessed, I think, or something. I don't remember. But there are the Link monsters that are pretty useful in this deck because they did print Link monsters for each of the Charmers. They are actually very good. People were using, like, the reason why I remember Hita so well is because I actually used her when I was playing a Salamangreats, because that was a fire deck, and she was very, very good in a fire deck, especially if you were playing against another Salamangreat player. That was very good in, like, a mirror match scenario. You could take control of your opponent's Salamangreat cards and use them yourself. So it's a bit of a shame that those Link monsters aren't in here. I also kind of understand why they're not, because they are very new, and there are also the Starlight Rare versions of them that are worth a lot of money that people are going to be chasing after and maybe buying packs in order to try to pull them. Those are worth hundreds of dollars. If I'll try to get some prices up on the screen. But then the other thing that's not in here, that is a special shame, is because in the Japanese version of this, in the OCG version of this structure deck, there was a card called Evenly Matched, which is a trap card, which is basically just a board nuke. If you are going second, you could just immediately go to your battle phase and activate the card from your hand, and it destroys it banishes everything on your opponent's side of the field except for one card. So that is a very good way to just clear everything out. Your opponent can't really do too much to prevent it. And it's kind of an expensive card. It's been reprinted a few times, but it was always reprinted in high rarities. It wasn't very easy to get your hands on. But this would have been a very, very good way for people to get their hands on Evenly Matched. And instead, they replaced it with Raigeki. And Raigeki's not a bad card, and it's always nice to have a classic card in holographic form. But it's a bit of a shame that something that is such a staple was removed from this, most likely just to sell a future product that has Evenly Matched in it that isn't a guarantee. So I am upset with that, and I will say that is bad. But otherwise, it's not that big of a deal. You know, those Link monsters, if you don't want to get the Starlight Rare versions, they are pretty affordable. You can get them for not even like $1 or $2 even. You could get them for a song. It's not something that's competitive. This is not something that you are picking up because you want to win a tournament. This is something that you are picking up if you're a big fan of the Charmers. If you think the girls are cute, if you think that the gameplay, the structure of the deck is fun, this is something that you could pick up. You pick up 3 of them, you just make your deck with this, and you don't worry too much about, you know, using cards that are extremely powerful. I would say maybe you could pick this up if you don't have some of these staples, like Dimensional Barrier, Metaverse, Solemn Warning, Dark Ruler No More. Those are all very good cards, and the price for these, especially because they're all common, is going to be very low. So I would say either pick that up if you're going to get all of them, or see if people are selling the singles online somewhere. But overall, I'd say unless you are a brand new player who needs to get a bunch of staples, or somebody who's just a big fan of the Charmers, I would say that this isn't really something that you should just hop in your car and buy 3 copies of. This is very much something that is just okay. It is a meh sort of release, while things like Phantom Rage and Maximum Gold are infinitely more worth your money, I feel. So yes, that is it for this review of this structure deck. Of course, Konami sent this to me, so thanks again to Konami. And if you have any other requests, I don't think I'm going to go out there and spend $1 million on packs or anything like that, but, you know, maybe I'll buy some more packs here or there while there's a bit of a drought between now and the next release, because I'm pretty sure there isn't anything until next year. Maybe I'll do another one next month, just a quick, like, hey, I bought some packs sort of thing. But until then, this has been John, Crackin' Packs. See you around.